Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. This is Buddha and the Beast. We're doing another movie breakdown. This is Jay. And
What?
I don't know, I'm just like feeling opposite.
I'm just feeling silly goofy.
I'm feeling opposites today. How is everyone feeling out there? Are you vibing? We're at home. Look at that picture behind me. I have blue hair there.
That's crazy.
Let's look at the Taylor wall instead. I can't though.
I hope that my audio is working with my headphones on.
Talk again?
Hello?
Yeah, it's picking you up. I can see it.
Okay.
It gives me the lowdown of our audio.
It gives me the lowdown.
It gives it to me.
Baby, stop.
Yeah, so today we're breaking down the Hunger Games, the movies. Do you want to do
breaking down?
Yeah, we're just breaking down. End of sentence, period. And I'm out.
Yeah.
And then we just upload this and start crying.
Yeah.
We just recently rewatched and did reactions. Okay, well we only filmed 3 reactions out of the 5 movies, but we got there.
Technically we did film it, but it got messed up twice.
Yeah, we did film it, but we lost it.
We did watch them all though.
Yeah, we watched them all. And do you think we should do Ballad of Songbirds Step? I know, I feel like it's just interweaved with the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do it separately.
So should we do it first or last?
Last.
Yeah, I guess going in order.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these movies are pretty fierce, Tina.
They are. They're intense and they're really good.
Oh, yeah. I forgot, too, what I wanted to start doing on the podcast is, we each do we say, one sentence that kind of, one sentence or, couple sentence or paragraph that, notes up. No, that's not the word. Summarizes the whole movie into one thing. So it's kind of in college when you're writing an essay,
mm-hmm.
and there's in the introduction paragraph,
yeah,
there's a sentence that wraps up the whole comic, foreshadows your in a 5-paragraph essay.
Yeah.
What is that word? The one the sentence at the end of the introductory paragraph that summarizes the 3.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what it's called.
I don't remember writing. I mean, I do. And it's what was that called? Worksheet. A thesis statement. Yeah. Yes. I got it because of Google. Okay, so I remembered. So I was thinking about we could each have a thesis statement. That's kind of I don't know. It's hard. We can't really do it now because we didn't prepare one.
Yeah.
But something on the lines of it has to be almost a hot take or something. Saying the Hunger Games.
Okay, mine is it starts off
and then everything else that you talk about in the podcast will have to prove this thesis statement.
Yeah.
Mine
would be it kind of starts out by showing somebody who's being strong and selfless and protective and motherly, but then right after that it's just drama. Everything else is dramatic as fuck. Every time something happens, we're screaming, we're crying, we're breaking down, we're knees to the floor. For what? Dramatic.
Yeah, so Katniss is drama. Yeah, Katniss. So your thesis statement is Katniss wants to be cool, chill, collected mother.
But she's not.
But she's drama.
She's drama.
And she lives for the drama.
She does.
Katniss lives for the drama. Is your thesis statement. Okay.
She lives for the drama and the trauma.
Yeah. The trauma drama.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trauma
that's
drama,
kind of the
mama
best
mama.
kind.
Mm-hmm.
Drama drama's the best kind. Okay, yeah, that's a really good one. I guess mine would be.
Oh, and also Gale's a bitch.
Oh yeah, and Gale's a bitch. The Hunger Games. My thesis statement is The Hunger Games.
Period.
Period. Period. The Hunger Games, the series,
The
is the best
franchise.
YA Yeah, the Hunger Games is the best YA franchise to ever be put into a movie. I guess that's easy because there's really no other like good YA. Are there any better than Hunger Games?
I don't
I
think
feel like
so.
I feel like the Hunger Games, like just everything about the franchise, it's just like it's the perfect young adult post-apocalyptic franchise thing. Like it's just what you like want to go to when you want to see like this type of shit. Like so many other people tried to do it, like Divergent tried to do it, The Maze Runner.
Yeah, the Maze Runner wasn't bad, but it's still not better than Hunger Games by a long shot.
Yeah, and like Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight is more of like campy, funny, like cringy, like
Yeah, because I feel like Twilight thinks it's the best,
yeah, but it's not.
but Hunger Games knows it's the best.
Yes.
Yeah, like she's like, okay. Like Hunger Games is kind of like Plain Jane in the new season of RuPaul.
Yeah.
Just like she goes up to Twilight and she's like, you're not on any of our level.
Yeah.
Um so it's that. We just watched the new RuPaul, so good.
I know, I'm almost caught up all the way.
Okay.
I think Q is super annoying.
Yes, Q is annoying. Did you see the one where like Q was like,
I'm so
I'm
sad that
so
I'm in the top.
Yeah, I'm sad that I'm in the top. Like,
Oh,
really?
shut up.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like someone dating a bottom. I'm sad I'm the top all the time. It's like, well, you know what? You signed up for this.
You literally did this.
Um, that's not a good analogy at all. It's just like the same words.
It's just the same word, which is fine. Like,
Yeah. Uh,
it was good for the comedy.
okay. So those are good thesis statements. So next time, so
Yeah,
we can just like prepare like a little thing, and then
a
I'll
little
like
something.
edit it together to like start that. But oh yeah, what we have to do first though, I need to look up. We need to do our box office predictions.
Yes, I'm excited about this.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so let's see if we have the info in yet. All right, so let's see. So we predicted Madam Web's box office. I thought she would bring in 70 million, and you said 58 million. Box office. Do we have it yet? Madam Web was expected to earn 25 and 30. Oh wait, 25.8 million. Whoa. We were both way off.
Low.
That's not good. People were not liking this movie. And I was here for it. It was just like one of those shitty it was like Jennifer's Body. Like one of those like shitty 2000s movies that like is just so like, I think it's because I'm from that time though.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen it.
Because it takes place in 2003, and so there's an entire action scene of them, like, but in this huge action scene while Britney Spears' "Toxic" is playing, and we get like the whole 3-minute song. Like, it's so fierce. It just because that was just because it was on the radio, and they're like Britney. So like, let's see if this like new hit leaves a mark or something, and then they like play, I don't know, they say something queer like all the dialogue's so stupid that like they and I mean 2000s queer because we're in 2000.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I went instantly back there. Like wait, I forgot what I was saying. I don't know, I can't talk about that anyway. I'm not gonna like we have a whole video for it.
We're like going into it after we just said, well, we're not gonna go into it.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so then I guess that means you win though. So you're closer to it because you said 58. 28, that's not good.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
that sucks. All right. And I wonder what the budget was. I don't know. We'll get into that. I'm sure it was way more than 28 million. It was, I mean, not way more. It was probably like 50, I don't know. And then Bob Marley, I predicted 40 million. You predicted 53. So you went higher on Bob Marley. Bob Marley.
What?
Outperform expectations on number one at the box office with a $27.7 million opening weekend. Okay. So that's actually really good. Because yeah, like I was saying, like people weren't expecting, like they're expecting lower numbers with a Marvel movie. Because didn't I say like Elvis won, like not won, Elvis, well, like won the box office that week. I mean, like, but Elvis still only made like, what did we even? I looked it up and it was only like, it was actually kind of a lot. It was like 60 million or something.
Wow. I thought it was going to
Um,
be way higher than that.
but this is just domestic, like, and we don't even have like the full like, weekend numbers yet because we're recording this on Sunday. But this also came out on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, which
Wednesday,
is
yeah.
weird. So I mean, these movies will make way more than that. This is just like open weekend domestically. It hasn't even gone to like outside of the US yet. Okay, so looks like you won one and I won one. Won one. So that means we need to do a tiebreaker to see who wins. And so I guess that means we have to do a tiebreaker. Let's guess the what the opening weekends did on Ballad of Songbirds. I haven't done this information yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it brought in 50 million.
You're going to go that high. I'm going to say 38.
All right, and 38. Devoured 101 million global opening. Okay, 101 million global opening.
Opening.
44 million.
I said 38, right? And you said, what did you say?
50. I said 50.
Oh, wow.
Wait, so does that mean I win?
I think so. Let's math. 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. What did you say again? 50?
Yeah.
We tied. Isn't that 6?
Well, you said 38.
38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44.
Yeah.
44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50.
I think it just goes to higher because I think that's how we're doing it.
Okay.
Right? Like because
I
like
don't know.
yeah, I think that I don't even know what the rating system is. I think it's if
We
it yeah,
both got 6 away.
yeah, because if it's like the part, yeah, it goes to whatever. We'll just say I won. Jesus Christ, I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
just say because
Yeah.
I said it,
You
I was
won.
higher. I just won, but because that means we technically tied again.
Again, yeah.
Okay, we'll just go with that. Like you thought it was more or less. I
Yeah,
don't know.
we'll just go with you won. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll go with we tied, but I won. So next time, wait, okay, yeah, we can't. That was we. How come we tied again?
I don't know.
Okay. So then let's guess Mockingjay Part 2 opening weekend domestic. I think
I think it's gonna go higher, so I'm gonna say
80 million.
58.
58. There's a lot of things to type. You said 58
Mm-hmm.
and I said 80.
Yeah.
Opening
Damn.
102 million.
Is that
Wait, at the box office. No, it has to. I searched domestic. Let's see if it's different. No, I need Mockingjay Part 2. Do you like it when movies have like part one and part two in the name? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's kind of annoying. I like how Marvel does all their sequels not by numbers anymore. They just say give it a name.
I like it because it helps um
Looking
keep
back,
it
knowing.
organized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where it was. All right. It looks like opening week in US and Canada was 102 million.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck. Okay. So we'll get into all the numbers of all the movies in just 1 second. So I guess that means I'm closer. So
Yeah.
I win this week's box office predicts. All that means is that I get to guess last when we look it up. And what movie is coming out next week? Do we know? Do you know of any? All right. Drive Away Dolls. Yeah, Pedro Pascal, Matt Damon, Ethan Cohen, Geraldine Viswanathan, Nathan, Coleman Domingo, Bill Camp, Etwan Cohen, Trisha Cook. Okay, fierce. All right, so you have to guess first. You don't get to, you have to guess
You
first.
you don't get to. This is
You
not a
have to.
you have to.
Um,
Um
what do you think Drive Away Dolls will make? Bringing in the star power of Pedro and the other one? The
and the
other
other one.
one.
Fresh start, road trip. It's not a super long movie. I think it's gonna do.
It's gonna do me.
I'm gonna go with 62,
All right, 62 million.
which is probably, I don't know. I'm just gonna go with it.
Okay. Yeah, so going off like Bob Marley, but Bob Marley didn't really have any big star power besides Bob Marley, but I mean like acting wise.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know who's playing Bob Marley, so no offense. If that's like a really big actor.
I don't
um
think that it is a big actor.
I'm just to be safe, I'm just gonna go 60. To be a jerk. All right, so the Hunger Games 1 came out March 23rd, 2012. So like 2012, that's crazy. Everyone thought the world was ending back then.
I was just thinking that the Mayan calendar was ending.
Yeah. Remember that movie 2012? What I used to
Mm.
like doing too, I'll probably do it for research for next time, is I like to look at this is hard because it's like I'm breaking down 5 movies, but
Yeah.
normally like when I'm just look back at one movie, I'll look at like what else came out there around that time, which is really interesting to like look back on and what it went up against in 2012 because I can't really remember. That was kind of like it was phase 2 of Marvel because no, actually, it was still phase 1, I guess, because like the Iron Man's the first Marvel movie that came out in 2008. So by the time we got to there, we were probably doing like Captain Marvel or Captain America, Thor. Yeah, so it came out March 2012. It's also like a spring release, which is interesting. Like I don't think they had much faith in this movie to put it out in like March. If they had faith in the
This is
movie,
the first Hunger Games.
yeah. If they had faith in the movie, I feel like they would have done either a summer blockbuster or like a holiday.
Yeah.
Um, and the budget was only 78 million. That's really low for the first one. And worldwide gross, it brought in. Oh, it did 150 opening weekend, but then the number I need you to write down is the worldwide gross is 695 million. That's crazy, and they only spent 78 to make it. So of course they were going to do the rest of the franchise. That means this movie made like $600 million, the first one. And then Catching Fire came out the following year in 2013. That came out in November. See, they pushed it. They said that did good. We have faith in it. Now it's going to be a fall release, which makes sense. This is like the Thanksgiving release, November 22nd, 2013. They gave the budget 130. So the last one was 78. So they gave it quite like 60 more million dollars. And opening weekend 158 and worldwide gross brought in 865 million. Holy shit. What was the first one?
695.
Okay. So then 865. So then add those together.
Yeah, it's 1,560.
Okay, 1.5 billion. was the first two movies. Which is insane.
1.5 billion.
Yeah, is the
That's
first
all
two movies.
so much money.
And they only invested like 200 million. Okay. Then Mockingjay Part 1 comes out the following year, 2014. They were just cranking these out like year after year after year. Another November release, 2014. This budget had 125 million, so they actually had a slightly smaller budget than Catching Fire. But I think it's because they were going to make one movie and they split the book into two. And worldwide gross, it made less than Catching Fire. It made 759 million. So add 759, which Catching Fire is better than Mockingjay 1. Catching Fire is so good.
So it was 2.319.
Okay, $2.3 billion so far the
Yeah.
franchise has made. Then Mockingjay Part 2 came out the following year after that, 2015. So they just went year after year after year on these. This is
Like
crazy.
back to back, yeah.
Like she must have been worked at. All these actors are worked hard.
Yeah.
Like not stopping. Another November release. And this budget was 160, so this had the biggest budget of all. And surprisingly, only made 661 million. So it did even worse. So add 661.
What?
661.
Why did it do worse?
Or no, it didn't do. Yeah, it did do worse than part 1. So add that together, all of that.
It's almost 3 billion. It's 200 or 2,980.
Okay.
So 2.9.
And then jump almost 10 years to 2023. The Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We brought it back. I wonder what budget they gave this. This is another November release. They only gave it 100 million, so they didn't give it as much as the prior film. And opening weekend 166. So far, the worldwide gross of it is 337. So it's definitely the worst in the franchise. They made 200 million on it, but so what is the total this franchise has brought in?
Plus 337 is 3.3 billion.
Okay, so this franchise has made $3.3 billion. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's before expenses, but still.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, that's so much fucking money.
I know, from 5 movies. And that is interesting, the trajectory of it. I think it must have been like fatigue, I guess. Like by the time they got to Mockingjay Part 2, they made the least amount of money in the box office. So people are kind of just like, we get it. Like we've seen, like, because I think they should have maybe waited a few years between each movie. Not a few years, but like 2. Like,
But what? How at the last movie in the series did it make the least?
it didn't make the least. I think it still made more than the first Hunger Games. No, it didn't actually. No, it made the least out of all of the Hunger Games. Because it's like fatigue. It's like
Baby,
the reason.
stop.
I think it's just they shouldn't have split the last 2, maybe, or something. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Mockingjay Part 1 could have been summarized like into just like
me too.
half
Mockingjay
an
Part
hour.
1 was kind of like a lot of like filler shit. It felt like
It was because it was only the first half of the book. So
Yeah.
they really could have, all they needed from that was her waking up in 13, seeing that Pete is being tortured, getting
Yeah.
PETA, and then her doing a few speeches. That could have been like half an hour.
Yeah.
And then Mockingjay Part 2, I guess certain spots could have been cut out, like Finnick's wedding and stuff. No, that was important.
Yeah, and that was a short thing.
I don't know what.
Baby, stop it.
We could have just got rid of Gale.
Yeah, honestly, everything about Gale could have just gone.
Yeah, but that's really interesting, and that's why I love looking at numbers like that and stuff to see. It's so cool to see how that goes. I think just by the 4th film, people were kind of just over it. They're like, we've seen Hunger Games every year for the past 4 years. Like, it's fine.
And maybe people were like aging out of it. Like,
yeah. So maybe spreading it out more would have been worse.
Yeah, because like you're in like high school and
Yeah.
years are going by and you're like now an adult and you're just like, yeah, it's like something I
Yeah, like
read in high
whatever.
school. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
because actually that was you. You only watched the first two.
yeah,
So you see, you understand why the last two didn't make as much money. You didn't go see them.
yeah. I literally didn't even see them myself. So
Yeah, so that's like a perfect example. It's like you the watch the first, you're like, I get it.
yeah,
And it's not that you didn't like them, but it's just like there was so much other things happening and coming out and stuff. You were probably just like,
yeah.
yeah, I got it. Like,
And
yeah,
then just like the age thing, like growing up and then being
yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, Catching Fire was the best out of the film, and it made the most money. I didn't know that it
And
made the most money.
if I would have read the books, I think I would have definitely seen them.
Oh yeah,
But
me too. So I read the book. That's why.
I don't remember any advertising for them at all.
Yeah, for Mockingjay 1 and 2.
What what year did part 1 and 2 come out?
14 and 15, 2000.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense
Yeah,
cuz I was graduating high school in 2014 and then I got married in 2015 and moved to California.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So yeah, around that time, I was like newly sober, and
yeah.
so I read the books in rehab in 2012 when the first one came out, and then so I think that's why I was invested to watch them.
Yeah.
Just like different times in our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, and then we can do ooh, in Our Wettest Dreams. In your wettest dream. Okay, I'll play the jingle. Um, this is where we talk about the hottest people in the franchise and who really like made
Well,
it seep.
it's kind
No,
of like
who made it
hard.
seep? That's disgusting.
It's kind of hard because this is like supposed to be children going into like a thing
Oh yeah,
to
you're
kill
right. They're
other
all supposed to be under.
children.
They're all supposed to be under 18.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Okay. Who would we? So we just need to replace fuck with.
friend.
Yeah, who would we friend? Who would we friend? Who would we not marry, but like, who would we like actually marry? Like someone so close that we would marry them. We would get like ordained. We get ordained by the church.
Um,
And then who do we kill? This is really hard. Okay, no, we can just do adults. So let's do
yeah.
fuck, marry, kill, Effie, Haymitch, and Senna.
Yes.
Or should we have President Snow in there?
No, because he's just gonna get killed. Right?
Well, we're doing all 5 movies. Okay, let's do a separate one for the new one because they're adults.
Okay.
Wait, Lucy Gray's not supposed to be an adult. She looks like an adult. How old's Lucy Gray supposed to be in that movie? I'm sorry. Like, what's her name? Rachel Zegler. You're hot and all, but you do not look 17.
No, she does not. She does not. We'll just call
I
her
just
an adult
realized that.
because
I
she
thought
is.
they were like in their 20s.
Well, the rest of them are, just not the tributes.
But all the tribute, there's only like a few tributes that looked young. They all looked
Yeah, they all looked
over
of
18.
age.
I feel like they had to do that. I think that was purposely done because nowadays it's like I don't think younger generations would like to watch kids getting like kids looking like kids getting killed.
Yeah,
I feel
and
like they
also
would
like
judge the movie more. I think they played it safe.
Snow was like an adult, and he
No,
was
but
like
Snow was still just in high school too in the books.
he was in college, wasn't he?
He was trying to get into college,
Oh,
into university.
oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I just really forgot. Okay, so yeah, so let's just do Haymitch because I don't know if there's like an adult from the new one that I would put in there.
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Because they're all kind of like crazy or like weird.
Yeah, they are. Okay, so yeah, Effie, Cinna, Haymitch. Holy shit. Okay, this is hard. Okay, so for me, I'm definitely gonna marry Effie.
Yeah, me too.
Obviously, love her. I mean, we're gonna have some fun
Hmm.
kikis. Um,
And I would fuck Senna and kill Haymitch,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that sucks. I don't even know
Yeah.
though. Actually,
Well, Haymitch is like great and all. Like I love him, but like I don't want to. He's just an alcoholic and like
yeah, he kind of
just
has
such
to.
a
I
Debbie
agree with
Downer.
you. I mean, a part of me kind of wants to be like, unfortunately, kill Effie and then like marry Senna because I love him
I know
and
Senna's amazing. Poor
fuck
Senna.
Haymitch, but I don't really want to fuck Haymitch.
No, because he's probably just like a sloppy drunk
Yeah,
who like can't get it hard because he's
yeah.
drunk all the time.
So we're killing. He has whiskey dick.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
exactly.
are killing Haymitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess we can get into our little I think that's all the segments I have. I don't have anything else. I'll try to come up with like original segments for what we're watching. Cause like next time we're gonna do what are we doing next week? Solo?
Solo.
Yeah. Solo.
Solo.
Um okay. Let's call them our tokens. Our things that we want to talk about the movies. What is your first token of the movie?
Um, are we going like for Hunger Games? The first one?
Um yeah, do we want to go through them chronologically, like each movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's do the first one.
And by token, do we mean like the favorite part in the whole
Yeah,
movie?
so token is not favorite parts, it's parts that stood out to you. It can be negative or positive. That's
I
what
mean,
these are.
obviously
Just talking points.
the main first thing that comes out is like Katniss volunteering as tribute.
Yeah,
Hello.
Candace volunteering as tribute is talking about a thesis statement. That is like an
Yeah.
exciting incident to be like the
That
uh,
kicks off everything.
kicks off everything so intense, so crazy. That's what
Intense
makes
as
her like
fuck.
iconic instantly.
Yeah.
I volunteer as tribute, and everyone's like, "Oh, like
Yeah.
Like you can just imagine being in the crowd, being like, "Did she just like volunteer at the
Did
fuck?
you do that shit? Hello?
The three fingers?" Like,
Yeah.
so
It's hold three fingers.
good old three fingers. That's why they do this. Um,
Um,
yeah, so that's good. That's a really crazy. It's such a good scene too. It's like handheld when it's shot. It's very intense.
yeah. It's so intense. Anxiety, just anxiety.
Um, I think the first one, like my next token would be like the build. This is in like all the movies, but the build up to the games is really intense.
Hmm.
And I don't know if this one or Catching Fire's build up to the games is more intense. I know because like right before the games in Catching Fire, Senna gets attacked,
I know.
but like to actually, I think it was like the first one's more intense because you just don't
I
know
think it is too.
because you don't know what it's gonna be. So as
Yeah.
you're watching it and like the build up and like it's such a dramatic change. Is it the first one when they like go to that party and they're like drinking stuff to puke after, or is that the second one? I think that's
I
Catching
think
Fire.
that's the second one.
Yeah, but still, like them just going to that crazy, like extravagant world from where they were.
Yeah, that's the second one because that's when you meet the new game maker.
Oh yes, yes. Okay, yeah. So that's the second one. Yeah. So the build up to the games, like the whole training area, so it was like really intense.
Yeah, I think it's more intense because also like it's starting to show the whole story to us,
Yeah.
where like in the second one we like know what happens, so they don't need to like go into as much detail with it.
Yeah, it's more of a it's like an all-star season,
Yeah.
which is season two, which is so or season two, movie two, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
twist on it and how Snow just like fucks with her in
Yeah.
any way that he can.
Okay. Yeah, it's so good. Oh wait, no, your go. Your next thing in the first.
What is another good one? Oh, just the whole introduction of her being, like, really good with a bow and arrow supposedly, but, like, in so many shots in the beginning that they show her trying to shoot things she's missing, until randomly in the training session, she shoots the apple right after
Yeah.
missing in front of everyone to get their
Yeah.
attention. Like,
Yeah, because
so
it
pretty
was
much 75%, well, even more, like 85% of the time you're missing your shots,
yeah, that was funny too. It established that she's, like, an amazing archer, and
but
then
misses.
well, she misses a lot.
Yeah.
Because did she end up getting, like, an animal in the beginning of the movie? Is that how they established it?
No. Yeah, she missed the deer.
She even missed the deer?
Yeah,
That's crazy. But I wonder if that's also, like, symbolism for, like, she couldn't actually kill, and then, like, by the end of the movie, she could kill, like
she could, yeah.
it was more of, like, I was missing on purpose.
Yeah.
I know it's, like, main character energy, but she is the main
But
character.
then she does miss on purpose when after the games and she was like, trauma, and she's like, "Oh my god, I can't kill it because I've killed things now,"
Oh,
and
yeah.
so it's like,
So it was, like, in
I
the
don't know, it
beginning
just
well, that's a good juxtaposition from, like, the beginning of the first movie to the beginning of the second one. The beginning of the first movie, I guess if you look back, she didn't wanna kill the deer because she didn't wanna kill someone. And then
yeah.
now she's about to kill the deer. I don't know if it's a deer, but she's getting, like, PTSD flashbacks.
Yeah.
So she has, like, a different reason for not wanting to kill. I guess you
Yeah.
could look at it like that. But, um but that's if you're looking at it like that, she might have just missed in the
Yeah.
beginning of the first one. Like, no, I really wanted to kill it,
I
actually.
actually wanted to because I was hungry, okay?
Yeah. Um, this hunger ain't no game.
No.
Um, I my next token for the first film would be Gale is annoying in 2000s gay.
Ugh. I wrote that in my notes, literally, Gale
Yeah.
is annoying and 2000s gay. Like,
Yeah, I have your note.
so oh, yeah, that's right. He's so annoying in every way.
Yeah. He really is, like, I don't know. I don't know about her.
Yeah.
Like, he's just giving, like, simp, but, like, an annoying simp.
Yeah, everything he says and does is fucking annoying. Gets on my nerves.
And, like, he just has to realize and admit that she just loves Peeta more than him. It's
Yeah.
just funny in the first movie, he's just sitting back in District 12, just, like, watching the TV, like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
And then by the last one, he's physically there next to them.
Yes.
We're like,
Literally sitting next to them.
yeah, it's so crazy.
When the camera pans to him and he's just sitting there like a puppy dog, I'm like, "Oh my god, I literally forgot he was there. What a fucking loser, just listening to this."
Yeah, like, I don't really understand why they had to do the whole, like, love triangle thing because it was never a love triangle.
It wasn't, but, like, I feel like all, like, YA series do it. It's,
Yeah.
like, for some reason, so attractive for teenagers to be, like, in a love triangle.
Yeah, I think that was the fault of, like because this came after Twilight,
Yeah.
and I think they kinda wanted to do that, be like, "Well, we should," because that was a huge thing, like, Team Edward and Team
Edward, Team
Jacob,
Jacob, yeah.
and there wasn't team like, there was trying to do the Team Gale, Team Peeta, but
There is not a Team Gale.
it was just always Peeta. Even if she was, like, kissing him in, like, the later movies, it was just never the
It was
same,
forced, it was uncomfortable, it was like
and just that's how it was in the book too. Like, when
yeah.
I read the books, there was never of, like, a Team Gale for me.
Yeah.
It was more of just, like, Gale was there when
Yeah, he
Peter
was
was
just
gone.
kinda there.
He was just there. Like, and he wasn't. He was really only in a few chapters in the first, like, 2 books.
Yeah.
And then, like, they really didn't need I wonder how different this movie would be without Gale, though. Because then in the 3rd book so in the 3rd book, you do get more of Gale, and you actually kind of start to like Gale more, and then there's more inner turmoil, it feels like in the 3rd book,
Yeah.
and then she can't be with him because he, like, accidentally killed Prim.
Not accidentally. Well, I mean accidentally, but, like,
Yeah, like he didn't know he made the bomb that killed Prim.
Yeah.
And like in the book, she was just kind of like by Gale, like she was just like pissed at him. It was less turmoily and more just like I've been in love with Peeta and now I hate you,
Yeah.
versus I want to be with you but I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't.
Mhm.
It didn't feel like that to me in the movie. It felt more of just like I was always gonna be with Peeta, and now I just hate you for killing my sister. But it
Yeah,
was
so, like, even on top of, like, I was with you, and it's kind of wrong that, like, I've cheated on you on live television,
yeah. No, but
but
we're never really together.
I guess, but it kinda seemed like they were at the same time, like, because in the beginning, they were talking about how they were gonna run away together and, like, be together
Yeah.
in the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it was just there. It was more of like she was comfortable with Gale, and then she felt like a spark that was catching fire in her for Peeta. Because that was also what caught fire in the second book was her love for Peeta.
Yeah.
Um, double meaning.
Mhm.
But yeah, Gale. So I don't know what the movies would have been like without Gale.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it causes some tension and anxiety for us watching it play out, and
yeah,
also, like, giving that, like, feeling of, "Oh, this is wrong because, like, I'm kind of with somebody and I'm, like, kissing you
yeah,
in a cave right now, like, when I'm not supposed to, because like, I have somebody." So
yeah.
it's,
That is
like,
weird. And it was, but
creating
they
that
also claimed
tension.
it was like for the show too. They're like it was
Yeah.
all fake in the first one,
Yeah.
which I think it was in the beginning.
Yeah, but then it, like,
Yeah.
turned into real pretty quickly.
And then, so what's your next token for the first movie?
Um, oh, the tree water fucking scene.
That's the second one.
That's the second one?
Yeah, that's catching fire. I know that
Oh.
for a fact. In the first one, I guess the really only other thing left to talk about for me would be Rue's death.
Oh, god, yeah. Yeah, that's a big one.
That's really depressing and rough.
It is rough.
When she dies, and I think that's the only time where Katniss isn't being over dramatic.
Yeah, that's true.
She was a lot more calm and collected in the first film, and then
She was.
she
She's just
kept getting
spiraling.
progressively, which I guess makes sense. A lot of shit's
Yeah.
happening.
The other
Um,
thing about the first one is Peta's, um, what is the word I'm looking for?
painting face.
Yeah,
Peeta
but,
does face
like,
painting, and Katniss helps him repeatedly.
yeah. Yeah, just constantly saving him, constantly, like, keeping him alive.
That's all.
Oh, the other thing too about the first one is how PETA kinda goes with he aligns with the group that's trying to kill her.
Oh yeah, in the beginning, yeah. So you're like kind of like unsure of Peeta's like
Yeah, of
intentions
his,
or
like,
whatever in the beginning.
actual alliances and things like
That's how
that.
it is in the book too, because you're just like, what is like she doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and then Peeta's huge twist. So I guess like the Peeta of it all. So we talked about the Gale of it all. Let's talk about the Peeta of it all. Like I just feel like I don't know. I feel like we could probably just talk about all the movies throughout. We can just have a
Mhm.
conversation about everything because we're kind of jumping around anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just have a conversation about the characters. Let's do that. I think that would be
Yes.
easier.
Yeah.
Let's we just do each character. Um so like we talked about Peeta or Gale and Katniss. Then Peeta, he has an interesting story of that like they met because he threw bread at the pigs.
Yeah.
And like he was supposed to be feeding the pigs and he saw her there and like he got in trouble for it, he admitted later. They yelled at him, but he
Yeah.
like kind of tossed it into the mud instead of just giving it to her. And like,
Yeah, because he said he purposely burnt it to be able to feed it to her.
yes, yeah.
So that's why he got in trouble because he wasted bread by burning it.
And it's interesting because so from her perspective, she's like, what a dick. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even though he's giving her food, it's
Which is,
still
like, how
feels
I felt too for a long time, like, It's
But then
really
you
dick. She couldn't
realize,
walk over to her and give it to her. Like you threw it
yeah,
at her in the rain.
but then you have to remember everyone's starving in this
Yeah.
in this district. So it's not
Yeah.
like, so he's probably, he's not allowed to just give his food away.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed too, honestly, if I was trying to support my family and my kid just giving her food away.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
I know the bitch
hello.
is in the gutter, but fucks, we're gonna be soon.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I understand why. Like,
Yeah, I get it now.
so that was cool, and then but I like that, and then the big reveal when they're doing like because these movies are basically like a pageant show, which is wild,
It
which is
is.
cool how we got to see from the beginning how that actually was created in
Yeah.
Songbirds, of
Yeah.
him like saying we should do like talent shows and shit,
Yes. And like
and because
interviews and
yeah,
all
because
the craziness.
it's like their Super Bowl,
Yeah.
like to play into like what we have like nowadays. It's exactly like a pageant mixed with a Super Bowl, which is what mixed with like UFC and like it's just
Yeah.
like um and the fact that the Hunger Games is mandatory viewing is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to watch the TV. And yeah, so her and Peter's relationship, he goes up during the pageant show and says, "I'm in love with Katniss." That was a
Yeah.
fierce scene.
Yeah. It was like he, from the beginning, it felt like he had PR training.
Yeah, it
Like, and
really
Katniss is
did.
just like not that person.
Maybe it's because he worked in the customer service at the bakery.
Yeah. So he was like able to like put it on
He was like easy, yeah, able to do that more.
and just create this storyline to get people hooked, which is like what
Yeah,
you were trying to do. You were like trying to sell yourself to people so that you could get more help in the game.
yeah. And so if you really think about it, PETA is a big reason why she survived the games too.
Yeah.
Because
Even if
without
he wasn't
PETA,
like
she would have been
physically.
very unlikable.
Yeah.
Also without Cinna. Cinna helped her out a lot.
Yeah. Cinna. Poor Cinna.
And I wonder how long he was part of the rebellion. Like since the first one, you think?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that he just was scared to do anything or say anything. And I
Yeah.
think that Katniss really helped him
Yeah, you could
like finally
tell.
cross.
Yeah, because he would always just be like, you shouldn't have to be doing this and stuff. Like he
Yeah,
was and he made her fierce outfits. He always
he
had like
did.
fierce eyeshadow on.
Hmm.
I was here for it. Um yeah, so then her and Peter's relationship, I feel like they just instantly fell in love.
Yeah, like it was kind of like fake it till you make it, but then
Yeah.
like they didn't have to really fake it for that long because I feel like PETA also always had like a crush on her at the very least.
Yeah. I think that he was
And
telling the truth when he said
yeah,
that like I there is someone, but I don't think she's into me.
yeah,
Like I think he has always been, and she was just maybe he saw her in Gale and just was like, okay,
yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah.
Um,
And I think that Katniss was distracted by Gale and didn't really even think of him
yeah,
as an option until she had to because they were like faking it for the games. And then she's like, "Oh wait, like
yeah. And then she was like, oh, yeah,
that
because it makes
Gale."
sense because she like it was one of those things where she was like, yeah, I'm just always gonna be with Gale. She didn't even like let herself think of anything else because that's how
Yeah.
she just needed to protect. That was like her family.
Yeah.
That's like for me, I just they might have been like together, but I feel like she was just with him going through the motions.
Yeah.
And then when she met PETA, she was like, "Oh," like when they kissed in the cave.
Yeah, she's like, "Wait a minute.
Yeah, she's like,
This
"My blood is supposed to
is."
be dripping."
Yeah, she's like, "Wait, is this like what's supposed to happen?"
You're like, "Oh, okay, I'm here for it." So I guess that is kind of an interesting, like, it's a different take on. It's not a classic love triangle where she's choosing between them. It's more of just
Mhm.
like she already had made the choice. She just has to get there. She doesn't
Yeah.
understand. It's like the Matrix. You already made the choice. You just have to understand why. And the Oracle like does this a lot. Okay, that's cool. Um,
Effie.
yes, Effie is fierce. Um,
I love her from start to finish. I think that she had a had and has like a long road of growth that she does need to get through and go through. But I think she did from the first book have a lot of growth, but I think that she's also got a lot of capital stuck in her and will always have a lot of
Yeah.
capital stuck in her. And
Hmm.
that is her only downfall for me.
It's interesting. I'm confused about Effie. Is was she a mentor? So did they each get a mentor, or did they both get them as mentor? Because in the first book, or in the newest movie, they only had one mentor per person.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand that either because Haymitch is the mentor. Because Effie is not a mentor because she's from the capital. Like she's
Yeah,
never been in the games. She's never been in the districts.
but
So
so were the mentors in the new book.
yeah, but that was before they changed it to Victor's
But maybe they still give someone, so they just still
from the
give a mentor from
capital.
Capital and Victor.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that is how it
Because
is.
she's also not their stylist, because that's Senna.
That's Senna. Yeah,
Is she like their PR
their
person, maybe?
PR. That's yeah. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Like that makes sense. She's like their publicist.
Yeah.
And which is really cool. Yeah, she did go through a lot of growth. It was funny seeing her in District 13 with
Yes.
like untucked.
Yes.
It was rough.
Even though she was still like the most fashionable one there, somehow she made that gray jumpsuit not a great jumpsuit. I don't know.
Yeah, she really made it work out somehow.
But like the non makeup and Haymitch being sober, like everything about
Yeah.
District 13 was crazy.
I know it really was in Coin. I fucking hate President Coin.
Ugh, I know, bitch. I think that um
And when she got them their
the
tokens, it was cute.
she got them the what?
When Effie got them their tokens, and then like in the second movie, and like they're like, me and Katniss has her Mockingjay, I have my hair, and they gave Peeta like
Oh,
locket,
yeah.
and then Hamish got
Yeah.
something I don't remember, and the locket had her Prim and Gale or something in it.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I think also that the strip down of everything made Mockingjay Part 1 feel like a action and war movie more than like the YA movie that it was. It just felt more intense and serious and like warlike. Like which I mean it was literally a war, but it just felt different than all the other ones.
Yeah, I think that was like another reason why Mockingjay struggled, and I think it's the worst book is because there's no games in it. Which I mean, I guess
Yeah.
like yeah, you could say that when they went like storm the Capitol, like it was kind of being in the games again, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. It wasn't the same feel of like being a tribute and being like
Mhm.
all dolled up and stuff, and like we didn't have that pageantry in the last one.
Yeah.
I think that's why the final two didn't do as good because it was like I don't know, we didn't have like that was what made the first two movies so good is that
Yeah, cuz
there
it
was a
made
Hunger
it like different. It made it original. It made it like fun with the capital stuff, and I feel like them
yeah,
taking so much of the capital stuff out of it made it like just
more
kind of like a basic
yeah,
dark like war movie.
yeah. And that's why like it's because that's what made was so intriguing about this franchise was the games.
Yeah.
So the third book doesn't have a games, and then you split that into two movies without games,
Yeah.
and then you're like, so what is this? Like, it's not.
This is totally different than what I started watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I can understand why it fell off then, but I mean, because that is like really hard to do, and that's why. And then this new one had a games again, so like that's a hard task for them, and I think they did pretty well with the final two movies with having to make these movies as enjoyable without actually having a Hunger Games in it
Mhm.
and make
Yeah.
it interesting enough to watch.
Also, like, to wrap up, like, Peeta and Katniss, they go from this, like, will they, won't they, to a crazy in between relationship of
Yeah.
him choking her almost to death because of being
Yeah.
brainwashed. And now
So
for 2 movies, just about, we're watching them
yeah.
rebuild their relationship while Gale's also watching them rebuild their relationship.
Yeah, it's so
Like,
yeah, because
the
their
unbrainwashing.
I know, like, because their trajectory of their relationship, the first movie, they kind of meet and like, oh, there's something here, and they're faking it. The second one, by the end of the second one, they're like fully in love,
Yeah.
and because they've been like faking the relationship that they were like actually engaged. They faked a baby, like
Yeah.
everything was so real, and then and then he goes and gets brainwashed and like tortured, and he's so skinny.
Yeah.
And they make him want to kill her and like think she's a mutt, which is wild.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he chokes her out and like almost kills her.
Almost kills her.
Like her neck is wild. And yeah, so they just have to, and he has like a tick where he keeps meaning to kill he keeps trying to
Yeah.
kill her. And he's like, oh shit, never mind.
And he's
And
like, "Oh fuck, sorry."
yeah, and Gale has to witness all of that.
Yeah.
And then like
And their
finally
ending is just adorable. The way
culminates
that they
him having a little primrose. And
ugh.
it's like that was also a thing in the books too that was the opposite. So she's like with Gale who killed Prim, then she sees him and he's like, I picked this, it's a primrose. And so that's why she ended up choosing PETA. I mean, there was no other choice.
Yeah. Gale's not an option.
And then they end up having kids together. It's so cute.
Little babies.
Yeah, that was wild though. Like that psychological torture that Snow did. It's really interesting. And then I guess Haymitch.
Haymitch, I love Haymitch, but there's a couple of parts of him that like I don't like.
And it makes
And
sense because hurt people hurt people.
yeah. Like I understand it and I understand why he is the way that he is, but like he's just one of those people where he's so stubborn that like he gets in his own way and in other people's way because of it. And I mean, I get it, like so much trauma, like all that, but
Yeah.
he just like stays dark. Like he doesn't even allow himself to heal or try to heal or try to be a better person. He just like sits in the victim state where he's like, I didn't want to do this. I was forced to do this. So now I'm just going to numb myself out for the rest of my
Yeah.
life and drink and not actually help these children because I'm going to
Yeah,
drink.
he's very stuck in like victim mentality.
Yeah. But other than that, I love him.
But yeah, he's kind of like that like annoying like uncle or something where
Yeah.
like you're annoying but we love you.
Yeah.
Like you're here for us in your own way. Like we have to say that
Yeah.
to someone. Um like deep down they love you or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean he was just trying to protect them, but
It's like in the beginning though, he like the first movie, he wasn't trying to protect them. Like he was just like,
no, he didn't give a fuck.
sorry, you guys are gonna probably die, and I can't do anything about that. So
And
buckle
then
up.
changed a lot by the end of the second one.
Yeah, he did.
I'm gonna plug my computer in. Betty, no. No, Betty.
And do you want to go into the Finnick of it all?
Whoa. Oh my god, yeah, of course I have to go into
Whoa.
of course I have to go into the Finnick of it all.
Mhm.
Finnick O'Dare. My mans, my honeys, my darlings. I've had a crush on him since before I even knew what he looked like. I read the books and I fell in love with him. I've read the books, I fell in love with him. And then when he walks up with like no shirt next to that like horse or whatever in the second film, and he like puts something in his mouth, he like eats something or something. I don't know. I remember like being in my seat. I was just like, am I gay? I'm kidding. I was an adult, but like I was like, this is why. Is anyone else feeling gay?
Is anyone
Like
feeling like?
it was wild. I flooded my basement.
And it's like kind of funny that you were losing your shit when he came on the screen, and I'm just like, I honestly don't remember him.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
I'm like, all
You know?
right, like,
I'm like,
you
Finnick.
okay? You good?
Yeah, I don't know why I have such an emotional attachment to Finnick, but Finnick Odair is so Gorgina. I love him. But he's also like a good guy because he just has a wife. He just wanted to get home to his wife. Like
I
his
know.
storyline
And
is
they
that
kind of
he
like paint him as not that at first.
yeah, no, because that's what he was. So like we need a Finnick movie to go through his games. That would be fun. Because he was like one of those bullshit upper district people in the
Yeah.
games. Like the asshole ones, and he won. But yeah, I don't remember exactly what district he's from, but it's from the water district. Um what movie is Finnick Odair?
The second one.
He's from District 2.
I don't know.
He's from District 4. So he's still like it is like an upper district. And he won the 65th Hunger Games at the age of 14 and was later one of the survivors of the third quarter quell. Yeah, so he was only 14 in the games. So he was some like I was gonna say hot, but he was like one of these like attractive, like the good looking kids, like he in high school. He goes and he's like preparing his whole life for the games. He goes into the games. He's like this badass womanizer, probably getting so much teenage puss.
Yeah.
And then like later on adult puss, probably adult puss as a teenager.
Yeah.
And he finally has settled down, found someone that he loved, finally got away from that. And Snow goes, "You're going back in
Yeah.
after
Welcome
all of that."
back.
So that's why I want a movie from his perspective of seeing his growth and change from being a dick in the games to meeting Annie, I think her name was,
Annie.
his wife, meeting her and like falling in love, and then being forced to go into the games, and
Yeah.
then being like, "What do I do? I want to protect my kids." So I get like, because he probably knew that she was pregnant, or no, I don't know what the
I don't
timeline
think
is.
yet, right?
Yeah, no, not yet. But he's like, I want to protect my wife, so I'm gonna join up with the rebels.
Well, don't they even not get married until like Mockingjay Part 2? Or was
Yeah,
it
they
Part
get
1?
married in the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, and the fourth one, but the second Mockingjay.
Yeah.
And so his whole storyline is so cool, and I think they must like have gone into it more in the book or something. I don't know why I was obsessed with him. And then in the movie, when he like starts fucking that tree, it's wild.
Yeah. It
Like
is wild.
it's so they all
It
do.
was like a tree orgy.
And then he starts like fingering that fish, and he's like eating it. Like it was
I don't
wild.
remember that.
In our reaction, I slow moed it and put genuine. Yeah. So and then he finally gets married. He impregnates her. I don't think he knew. Do you think he knew?
Before he died?
Yeah. It's way
Yeah.
more. It's way more
Wasn't
tragic if
she
he knew.
like wasn't she like big and preggo at the wedding?
Oh, I don't remember. Um, and then he ends up sacrificing himself.
Sacrifice yourself.
He sacrificed himself by getting mauled by the mutts. It was
Just
wild.
like Mags did.
I know. Oh my god! And then Mags, and that was also so sweet too, is because he like she was also a fellow victor,
Yeah.
and like so, and like the victors after. I also want to see that lifestyle. I want to see like they should make a movie about like influencers during the Hunger Games because that's what
Yeah.
he would have been when he won as a victor. He would become the celebrity of the pot. Like so, him and that like Mags woman were like celebrities, like
Yeah.
victors, and everyone followed. And it's really interesting. It's kind of like now how like the vlog squad. Wait, I can't talk. The vlog squad is all like separated, and they're like
Yeah.
talking about it. Like they're like that was crazy back then.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's kind of feeling to me. Like that type of vibes. Like he would be like in that rank of people in our
And
world.
speaking of Vlog Squad, that is what it was giving in Mockingjay. Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden you get introduced to this
Yeah.
like film crew
I
and they're
know.
following her around and getting like stupid shots and like
Yeah, they're like, we're just gonna stay behind all the
yeah.
action.
It was just that was a weird level to it, which like I get why they did
Yeah.
it, but, like, it was just a weird way to do it and a weird way to, like, have a whole camera crew, like, I don't know, I feel like they shoulda just had one guy recording shit, like, why do you need, like, a
Yeah.
director, 2 cameramen,
That's
like,
how it
it
was in the books. I remember, like, that was, like, most
weird.
of the focus of the book was just her, because it was all from her perspective. So we were
Yeah,
just really just seeing that of her, like, doing a bunch of publicity.
yeah,
Pretty much going on, like, a
a publicity
podcast tour.
tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aspect of those films, which was really, because it is kind of like a take on society
yeah,
nowadays, just like an intensified version
mhm,
of, like, America being the capital and the districts being the rest of the world, I'm assuming.
yeah, and then going to, like, Mockingjay Part 2, like, Katniss is waking up healing from she was already healing from getting shot, which, like, was crazy,
Oh,
and
yeah, I forgot about Good
then
Shot.
is healing from, like, almost getting choked out to death, but she's like, "No, it's not stopping me. I'm gonna go sneak onto this fucking plane and go to District
Yeah.
2 to, like, try to rally up the rebels from there."
Yeah.
And so she does, and I think that Coin wanted her to do that, honestly. Like, she told her, like, "No, you can't go," but I think she wanted her to go and knew she would ultimately
You
go.
think? Yeah, she was, like,
Yeah.
scheming that whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Boggs, the, like, leader of the whole squad, um, ends up telling Katniss, like, "Don't trust these people," as he's dying. Like, "Coin wants you
Yes,
dead."
that added so much anxiety. There was a lot of anxiety in the second one,
Yeah, there
the
was.
Mockingjay Part 2.
There was.
Like, that did
And
have a good build up to the end too as well, but
baby, just come here.
in a
Just
different
come here.
way.
And, like, the whole Boggs thing was actually pretty sad. Like, I feel
It
like he was
was.
one of the good guys, and he just so tragically died.
Yeah.
And all of the pods and, like, the booby traps all set up in the Capitol was a really big anxiety piece,
Yeah, it
which
was like,
also, like, made it feel like a games when it wasn't, which was really cool.
yeah, it's like when Finnick said this is the 76 Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like, it did feel like that.
Also loved seeing Tigress. That was amazing.
Yeah, so comparing tigresses from the different movies, that's wild.
Yeah, she
I wonder
looks
who's the actress
so
that
different.
played her in the older tigress.
Mhm, and it was kinda cool reading Snakes and Songbirds and then watching Mockingjay for the first time because I'm like, "I know who that
Yeah,
is. I know your whole backstory."
that is a pretty cool way to watch it. Because
And
I
then
didn't
all
even
the
realize.
foreshadowing with the cat, Prim's cat.
Yeah, I know Prim's cat.
That's sad. Like Buttercup or whatever. Stop.
Yeah, that was a really sad scene at the end of the second one when she's like yelling at the cat.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Are you done freaking out?" And then she
He's
picked
like,
him up.
"Okay, so, like, that was really,
Like, she's
awkward. Can you"
gone. Yeah,
Yeah. And it's kind of really shitty that, like, the whole premise of all of these movies is her saving Prim. Like, "I'm gonna go to the Hunger Games for you so that you don't
yes,
die."
that's the crazy thing.
And then she dies at the end when they're winning the war.
And so I think that's what it means. Like, it's supposed to leave you with that feeling of like war is meaningless
Yeah.
because after all of that is still just she still dies.
She still died.
So like, yeah, because what do you do? Like, that's your only purpose is to protect her, and then like that purpose is gone.
Yep.
And then I guess she ended up just happy with a family, but
And, like,
I don't
I
know.
hated Gale the whole time, but then, like, him creating the bomb and making the plan with Coin
It
to
made it
bomb
even worse.
made it even worse.
That's why me going back and rewatching these, I hate him so much. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I never saw that part coming. Like when I was first reading it, like that.
Me Either I didn't read it, but when I was watching it.
The same thing, yeah. But like, if I would have watched the movies first, like the first time I saw this, I was like, I didn't put together that him like starting to work in the war would end up killing Prim. Like, I guess
Yeah.
there's like no way to like think that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. And they did it so smart too to make it look like the Capitol.
But I even remember being like, why is he even at this table? Like, what
Yeah,
is
he
he
kind of like
contributing?
nowhere. Like, who are you?
Yeah. Like, you're just some dude from
I
District
guess he
12.
saved some people, but we didn't really see what happened.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how he got everyone out.
I don't care. He's a bitch.
Yeah, he only saved like 10% of the
Not
whole district,
even.
so he sucks. Not even 10%.
And
Okay.
then when Katniss confronts him, like, okay, so after they win the war, she wakes up and whatever, and she goes to talk to Snow, and then Snow's like, I didn't bomb the Capitol. Like, your girl and your boy did.
Yes.
And she's
Snow
like,
always
you're
serves.
lying. And Snow's like, girl, no, I'm not. I told you that
Yeah.
we don't lie to each other. Like, what do you mean? Why don't you
He
ask him?
he talks like a drag queen.
Yes, he
Like
does.
like he reminds me of like the girls on Race
Yeah.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes, just like talking shit.
And
He's
when
always bringing.
Katniss asks Gale, like, hey, did you like make the bomb and make this plan with Coin to do this?
Oh yeah.
He's like, I don't
I don't know.
know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Like, I guess. What do you mean you don't know? You know they used your mom.
Listen,
I don't
shut the
know.
fuck up and stop.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. You're a stupid bitch.
My
You're a
girl, you
stupid,
do
stupid
know.
bitch. You know.
You do know.
Don't be fucking
I would have been
stupid.
like, you're the one that said war isn't personal. She's like,
Yeah.
she was like, he's like, I thought you would know that. She's like, actually, I'm the only one that knows how personal it is.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, he's such a piece of shit.
Ugh, I can't with him.
Yeah, they made him like so pathetic in the final movie. And then
So
he went
pathetic.
off
He
to
is
like
so
run
pathetic.
District 2 or something. Yeah, I wonder if
Which,
there's
like,
any like
whatever.
Gale supporters out there.
You
There
know
has to
what?
be like a Reddit of Gale supporters.
If there is, they're
People on Team Gale.
probably bitches just like him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
overall, I guess Katniss and Peeta got a pretty happy ending. I mean, it's still sad that Prim died.
yeah, I think they got a pretty good ending, even though they're in like the destroyed remains of District 12. But they're there together and they can rebuild and they don't have to deal with anyone.
Was she just like
And
hunting for their food and stuff?
yeah,
That's so weird. And then just on the other side of the country, people are just living and
yeah.
like, yeah.
But she kind of had to go there because she literally killed the new president. So,
Oh yeah, so she had to go live her life out in the out. Yeah, because she's like technically on the run. Yeah, she did just like
yeah.
kill the president in front of everyone.
I mean, she was pardoned, but she was not allowed to stay in the capital after that.
Yeah, because the media would have to make it seem like they would have to pin it on Katniss so people wouldn't lose faith in the government because they
Yeah.
wouldn't want like Coin to have been the evil one. So if they just say like Katniss was the fugitive or something, I don't know. That's probably how they spun it. Because I wonder what people's thoughts on Katniss are now after that, like the general public.
Well, and like the whole like round table thing where they're like
Yeah.
voting to do the Hunger Games again,
Yeah.
which like why are you even voting for that? Why are you thinking that? Like you're fucked up.
I know that's crazy to do the Capitol's children.
Like
And
you're
Joanna
just
was
doing
here
the
for it.
same thing.
Joanna's the
Well,
devil of
Joanna's
that movie.
crazy. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like every intrusive thought. Yep, let's do it.
I know, but I love her.
And then Katniss was like playing a game. She's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? We'll do it. I'll say yes, but you need to let me kill Snow. And she was formulating that plan right then
Yeah.
and there.
Yeah, right there. And Hamish just knew to trust her. So
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm with the Mockingjay.
Yeah.
Like he just
And Peeta's like,
Yeah, he was like, the fuck? How did PETA
What
vote?
is wrong with
Against?
you? Yeah, he was so pissed.
Yeah.
He was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?" He's like, "Katniss, hello? Hey, Mitch,
Yeah.
the fuck? Like, hello? Is anybody gonna, like,
Yeah, and
stop
then he
this
was
right now?"
also so shocked when she killed her too.
Yeah.
But then he helped her get out of there.
Yeah, and
And then
just
the mob just killed President Snow.
yeah, that was a great moment where he's just, like, laughing and smiling
Yeah.
and, like, getting fucking mauled to death.
And he was like dying too.
Yeah.
But she was almost
He
like
was
it was
already
almost more
dying,
of a
yeah.
fuck you to not kill him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even he laughed. Like I think at the
Yeah,
end, like, he
he
was like
did.
laughing and be like, "That's fucked up." Like, because I would have been like, she was like, "Nah, I'm not even gonna waste my time on you."
Yeah.
Because she's like, "You're not even the real enemy now." Because he didn't mean. She's like, "You're dying. You don't mean anything anymore."
Yeah. "You're not
It
the
was more
president.
like that.
We took you down, like, I don't care."
It made him realize that he meant nothing now,
Yes.
which is the ultimate
And
punishment for Snow.
the whole scene, I was so nervous because I thought she was gonna get, like, killed on the spot pretty much, and if it wasn't on the spot, she was gonna get fucking killed
Yeah.
for doing that. And I was really surprised when Hamish came in and was like, "Here's a letter, like, you're pardoned, like, he couldn't come here and tell you himself, but, like, you can go back to 12, just, like, you can't stay here."
Yeah, I mean, because it makes sense because if the council were all those people, I guess they would all have gotten together and be like, "Yeah, I guess she was being kind of crazy with rounding up the Capitol's kids.
Yeah.
Like, we can pardon Katniss, but just make it look like she's the crazy one
Yeah, get her
or
out of here.
something."
Like, she's gotta go back to 12, which is what she wants anyways, like, she doesn't wanna be
Yeah.
here.
So, like, it makes sense why they did it if it's like those people who are in control.
Oh, and then she tries to use the suicide pill. She tries to kill herself, and Peeta's like, "Girl, no."
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that storyline.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
he's like,
was being a little
no,
suicidal.
we're not doing that.
Yeah, he's like,
Let's not."
calm down.
He's like, "You're being dramatic again."
Yeah, she
Okay.
does go from like 100 to 10 or
Yeah.
0 to 100.
Yeah, 0 to 100, yeah.
Do you think she's like bipolar?
Probably.
Like if she needs I think she needs like a mood stabilizer
Yeah,
sometimes.
and I think she'd be a little bit, like, less dramatic.
Yeah, be
Like,
like more in the mid.
yeah.
Because she's like either side of the spectrum, like really calm or like really wilding out.
Yeah.
She needs to just be like in the middle.
And just, like, the way that it ends, everything wrapped up really well, and, like, Annie sending the letter in to, like, update them on her kid and, like, how
Yeah, it
things
is a
were
really
going in
good
the
ending.
Capitol, and then, like, Katniss talking to her baby while, like, Peeta's out in the field with their other baby.
Yeah. I think the ending does feel really good. It was really
Yeah.
satisfying getting it because you kind of like I kind of always knew that's where it would go
Yeah.
because there was never while I was reading another or watching way I would think that she would end up with like Gale or
No. Fuck no.
I never thought that I really didn't think Prim was gonna die, but you called that.
I yeah, I thought Prim was gonna die,
Yeah.
especially when they were showing, like, the cat. I was like, "No, she's gone. She's a
Yeah,
goner."
I know it's so sad.
Um, what else?
What was I gonna
Oh, the whole saying that PETA will say to Katniss, like, what is it, real? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah,
Because of, like,
yeah. Like
his
the last line of the book,
delusions.
he's like, "You love me, real or not real?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Real."
So cute.
Yeah, that was a
Stop.
cool way to bring that back up because that was how he was remembering everything.
And it was kind of, like, stressing me out a little bit, though. Like, it was really, really cute, but I was also stressing because I was like, girl, you just tried to kill her, like, not that long ago. Like, are you
Yeah, I
sure
know.
that you're, like, unbrainwashed all the way?
Yeah, I'm sure they were like working on that. And I think
Yeah,
that's kinda
like,
cool how that's like their tradition of like real or not real. Like he just kind of checks in with her.
I don't know, it'd be, like, really traumatizing for me to, like, go to sleep next to somebody that tried to kill me and then, like, be
Yeah,
afraid that he, like, still wasn't healed all the way.
I know. That
Like,
is, yeah, that is kind of fucked up. But she,
um,
He's like, oh, I don't know. Like she trusts him, I guess.
I guess.
Is
I
there a dark
don't
future where he snaps and like kills her and the kids?
know.
I don't think he could though. Like Katniss would take him out.
Yeah. But she almost didn't, and he was weak as fuck.
Yeah, I know. Because in the book he was supposed to be like stronger.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know. Josh Hutcherson just doesn't have like a huge build.
No, he doesn't. He's just a little cutie patootie.
Yeah, like he just doesn't give that vibe.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I'm just being like heightist, but I think it's just because he's shorter than her. Like
Yeah.
he's like an
Well, they
active
just like
foot
paint
shorter.
him in that light too. Like,
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I definitely would be Team Peta if there were teams.
yeah.
And then I guess we could talk about President Snow,
Yeah.
his whole life. So we pretty much know so much about him.
Yeah.
And the fact that when I first read these books, I always said Cornelius in my head, but his
Yeah.
name's
I
Coriolanus.
know. It's so hard.
Coriolanus. Because I actually read the first books.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I listened to the new one in audio, he said the name Coriolanus so many times.
Yes.
He's like, Coriolanus said, Coriolanus, like Coriolanus. Um, he is kind of a sociopath, psychopath.
Oh, it's giving sociopath.
Like,
100%.
but has he actually physically killed someone? Oh yeah, he did. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you in the movie. So I guess yeah, he's giving
And he
psycho.
said it gave him power. He said he liked it.
That was weird.
He literally was caught smiling about it.
Yeah, and he said it gives me power. That's not a good response.
No, that's definitely
Um,
giving psychopath. Okay.
but yeah, his character though, like you kind of relate to him and like feel for him in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
when you come from his perspective of like he hasn't been doing well after the war. But it's not as bad as when we see Katniss start up. Like she's in a real bad like slum
Yeah.
in the middle of the woods and stuff, and his is like
He still lives in a penthouse.
yeah,
Like,
he still like lives nice, but from the outside, like I don't know.
and he
It's
still
like
ate every day. Like,
yeah,
he
it's
got
like
to go to
different
school
levels.
and
Yeah,
he got to eat at school and then he got to have like a
yeah.
minimal dinner at home, but he was fed every day.
So it's cool to
He,
yeah, it was
like,
not as it's not as bad. So it was cool to see the difference between like a poor in the district and then a poor in the
mhm.
capital.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of another take on like real life of like
Hmm.
poor in America versus poor in another world or another
Yeah.
world in another
Another
world
world.
in another country. And so in the beginning seeing him like worrying about getting a shirt to like look fancy because he's acting rich. Like that's his biggest issue is like looking rich. When like
Yeah.
Katniss is like outside like hunting for food.
Yeah. And trying to save her little sister from death. So,
So like looking back now though, I don't know why I related to him. I guess I did because you can just when you're reading from that
no, you do. Like, yeah.
but he always was just kind of a little bitch.
Yeah.
Like he was a rich kid that lost his money
Yeah.
and then was like crying about it.
Yeah.
But he did rise up the ranks. Like I would like to see a sequel of that to see him like continue to go to where he ended up.
Well, he poisoned people to become president.
Oh yeah, I guess he even did that in Mockingjay Part 2. He's
Yeah.
like
And then
the known
yeah.
poisoner. And he made the game maker like kill himself with
Yeah.
poison with the berries at the end of the first
Like,
one.
he loves
That's
to poison
wild.
people. He loves
Yeah,
it.
he is a poisoner.
Like,
I feel
from
like
Snakes and Songbirds, he has poisoned people and he fucking loves it.
yeah, and so when we first saw that girl get poisoned in the movie, I wonder if that's when he realized, like, ooh.
He's
And
like,
he must have learned it from the scientist because he's like kind of giving like Viola Davis
yeah, he
like,
is. He
in the other
is.
ones. Like I think that's where he learned like more psychoness from her.
I think the only time that we're ever relating to him and when he's like showing some humility is when Tigress is guiding him. Tigress was telling him the humanity parts, and he took those and ran with
Yeah.
them, but it was always for his personal gain. It was never like out of the goodness of his heart because I don't think
Yeah.
he's able to do that. I think he's a purebred psychopath.
Yeah, so I think like for him, he always thinks logically. And
Yeah.
so he's thinking, okay, so I need to get into the university. So to do that, I need to like win the games. And he's like, if I make, and then Tigress is giving him things to like emotionally, like, well, just connect with her, make her like you. And he's thinking logically, like, I'm like, okay, so if she thinks that I like her, I can win to get to the university. So then he's like, all right, so I'm gonna, and so the lines start blurring of like if
Yes.
he's just
Because
faking
he's
it.
playing a part.
Yeah.
She's
But
like,
it
put
also,
yourself in her shoes so that you can help her.
yeah,
So he does that, and then he's like, whoa, I was like acting like in
yeah,
her shoes. So I don't think he ever was like a normal person.
no. And and then so he does that and like, and so I think a part of him does like at least think that he loves her,
Yeah. But that's how all sociopaths are. Like they
but
think that
it's
they.
all because of his end goal.
Hmm.
That's what it always was. And that's how it even tested at the very end when he ran away with her and he saw the weapons and he's like, "Oh, actually I can still climb the ranks in the
Yeah.
Capitol."
Yeah. I don't need
And
to.
it was over then. And
Yeah.
that's when you saw his true like psychopathicness come, like
Switch
tendencies come
right
out.
back in. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, okay." He's like back to thinking logically again. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't need this." He's like, "It was
Yeah.
nice. I love her being with her, but if I don't need to be here, no."
Then I'm going to go.
Yeah, so that's wild. And
Yeah.
then she got away, and that's what
Yeah.
pissed him off. And that's
Hmm.
what like reminds him so much of Katniss when he sees her.
Yes. And I
And the
think,
fact too that she went out to get Katniss.
yes, I think my crazy conspiracy theory about this whole thing
Yes, this is a good
is
conspiracy theory.
that they be fucking
Yeah,
when he was a peacekeeper.
yeah,
And I think he got her pregnant. And I think that Katniss is his descendant
yeah,
through Lucy Gray,
yeah. So Katniss would be his
great
granddaughter,
granddaughter.
great granddaughter.
Didn't we say great granddaughter by the timing?
Yes, yeah, yeah, great granddaughter. Yeah, if they had to have been. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it could. And then that would be so crazy. But I mean, it definitely is a possibility.
Whether he knew it or not, the genetics like is
Yeah.
why they had a weird connection the whole time.
And how she knew that song, knew Lucy
Yeah.
Gray's song.
Passed down through her family.
Yeah, that's the only way that makes sense. And so it would be like on her mother's side, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm going to say yes because randomly her mom and Prim are blonde and Snow is blonde.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it has to be, and the reason that Katniss has dark hair is from Lucy Gray
Yeah, and that's why it reminds him of her.
because she's so
Her
much like her.
Yeah, her dark hair reminds him of Lucy Gray
Yeah.
too, as well, like subconsciously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah. And yeah, because I don't know if he knows though. I don't think he at
I
least
don't think
played it
he
that he
knows
knew.
either. I think that there was just that genetic gravitation.
Yeah, like he just had this weird connection.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool. I wonder if they'll do any follow-up movies to it. I don't know because the it hasn't made that much money. It made 200 million.
Yeah. Well, I wish that they would have just done Snakes and Songbirds as a TV series. And then at the end of the
Yeah.
TV series, make the big reveal be Katniss is his great-granddaughter, and that's how they close it.
Yeah, that would be. It needed to be split up more because it was such a long movie, but they still left so much out.
So much.
I don't understand how that happens. Like, it was like, what, a
I
three
mean,
hour long movie?
and it's left out so much shit. One of
Like,
the main things that I was, like, so excited to see in person, like, instead of picturing it in my head,
yeah.
is Clemencia,
Yeah,
like, getting
Clemencia, that
all
was her name.
scaly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like,
they barely showed her. They showed her in, what, like, two scenes?
fucking glossed over that shit. Yeah, the opening scene at the school and then the snake
Yeah.
pit. They didn't
Yeah.
even explain why they did the snake pit. They just were like, "Oh, you guys did a paper and she
Yeah,
wrote
she,
it
like,
and you're
showed up and
lying."
she's like, "Thanks for writing the paper for me."
Yeah.
Like, that's how they explained it instantly, and, like, I don't know, that was
Stupid.
weird.
Stupid, 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 stupid.
I mean, so, yeah, some of it felt rushed,
Yeah.
even though the scenes, like, they were good because the actors are good,
Mhm.
but they just didn't, like, you just wouldn't understand without all the context of the book. I don't
Yeah,
know
like
how people watch that. Yeah.
if you did not read the book, I don't think that people are grasping a lot of the concepts. Like, I just don't think
There's
it's
no way.
possible.
Yeah, you can't.
Mm-mm.
It's so weird,
Which
yeah, because
really
there's so much
sucks.
more inner turmoil going on with so the watching the movie makes you not relate with Choreo as much as the
Yeah.
book, and I think it's
Yeah.
because we, like, hear his, like, thoughts so much more in the
Mhm.
book because they just didn't, like, portray it well here, like, he was just kind of a dick the whole movie. Like,
And then there was, like, small things where, like, you just wouldn't have picked up on it unless you read the book, like,
yeah.
when he's caught wrapping something up in a napkin and putting it in his
Yeah, like,
pocket.
the school or the food from the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and they didn't even explain why that was a big deal, like, if you got caught taking food out of the cafeteria, it's a really big deal.
Yeah, because everyone's
Like,
like,
you
"Oh,
get
you're
in a
poor."
lot of trouble,
Yeah,
and people realize that you're broke.
yeah. Yeah, like, they didn't add that part at all, they just really glossed over it, kinda he just, like,
Yeah.
looked at the food, and that was it.
Yeah. And the other thing too is the cannibal part. They didn't really show that properly. They just showed a
Yeah, not
random
really, yeah.
thing in the beginning when the war was still happening, but there was a really big part that happened with the cannibal scene with one of his classmates that he was going against in the games, and his dad went out and cut like a leg or an arm off of
Yeah,
somebody to make it for dinner that night, and he had this like, do I tell this guy that I just saw his dad like chop a leg off for their fucking family stew tonight? Like,
yeah.
but
I
he
mean,
didn't.
yeah, they really glossed it they opened up the movie with that, but just, like, glossed
Mhm.
over and, like,
But that
never,
was it.
they talked about it again.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there were a lot of things they that they just kind of, like, glossed over but, I mean, if they were to add everything in, this movie would have been, like, 6 hours long.
I know. That's why I wish they would have just done a TV series.
Yeah, because they could have done 6-hour-long episodes.
Mhm.
That would have been perfect.
And the other thing too is they didn't really show how terribly they treated the tributes in
No, they
this
didn't.
one.
They treated the tributes way nicer.
Like,
It's like they were trying to
this
be
is not the present day Hunger Games. Like, this is how it started. So, like, show it.
yeah,
Like,
because they were just, like, thrown in the zoo.
they were shackled on the trains. Like, they
Yeah.
skipped a lot of stuff with how they were treated bad.
Yeah, because they were just always yeah, because they didn't really, like, show because it kept showing him going there giving her food.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but they didn't show how, like, far in between that was and that they were
Yeah.
just shackled in a zoo,
And
like
that everybody else was pretty much, like, starving to death already, and,
yeah.
like,
Like, so it didn't even feel like that big of a deal that he snuck them food
yeah,
because they didn't make the food a big deal.
yeah,
And so, like, every time you saw him there, he was feeding her food, so you're like, "Oh, okay, so she's getting fed regularly," but, like, that wasn't the case. He had to, like, risk everything to get her
to
food.
get her food when he wasn't even eating, and they
But
didn't
that
really show that.
yeah, it wasn't, like, portrayed that at all. So that was
Yeah,
what made him more relatable to me, I think. That was what I think that's a big thing that was missed in the movie.
yeah,
That makes sense. Even though it felt like a little thing in the book,
yeah,
but, like, missing that one little thing, you're like, "Oh, okay, he doesn't read as likable,"
mhm,
because he
mhm.
wasn't likable in the movie at all.
No.
I mean, I guess some people might have thought he was hot, but I think that was the reason. I think the main character wasn't likable enough in this movie.
Hmm.
And I think that's why it didn't do good. If they had like a really hot, likable guy to play this role,
Yeah.
but this guy was just too. I don't
And
know.
then the whole thing with the dean, like they didn't really show a lot of important conversations that they had with each other. They
Yeah,
just
that
like
was glossed over
showed him
too.
a couple times.
Yeah, because that had a really complex backstory, and like the dean was friends with his dad.
And yeah, they didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just kind
They
of
like
mentioned
barely mentioned his dad.
it. Yeah, he's like,
And
your dad and I
then
came up with the games like really quick. You're like, wait, what?
they leave out completely that he was like expelled too and then was able to come back to school.
Yeah,
They didn't even talk about that at all.
I don't
He
think
got
they
kicked
did.
out of school
Yeah,
by the
they just
headmaster. I mean the dean.
yeah they didn't show that part.
They didn't. I just realized that too.
Well, and then he was sent. Well, was that when he was sent to District 12?
No, that was like after the games when he was sent to the peacekeepers. Like he before that happened, before the games happened,
Yeah.
like had to leave the school for whatever, I can't remember the reason, and like fought his way back in
Oh
somehow.
yeah, in the very yeah okay yeah, and more in the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, what did he get in trouble for? Well,
I
yeah,
don't remember, but he got in trouble and got kicked out, and then
okay, yeah, I
like
do remember that part. Yeah, they skipped over that.
somebody helped him get back into the school, and then
Yeah, so there would have been plenty
that
of material for a series.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that also further drove the dean and his relationship to be terrible because he's like, I don't want
yeah,
you here, and I showed you that I don't want you here because I kicked your ass
yeah,
out, and now you're back, and you're fucking lucky you're back.
yeah. So that added a whole other layer as well that
Yeah,
in the book that we missed there.
yeah,
I think they portrayed. Oh, you know what? A cool connection I made too is in this book. Um, it's just like this tiny arena, like that
yeah,
where they were gonna fight. And it's just like this room, this tiny like football arena, basically.
yeah,
And but it gets blown up and it goes into the tunnels. And he says the games are underground now. In in Mockingjay Part 2, um, when he realizes she's alive, Snow, he's like, the game's underground now. And it was like
yeah,
a flashback to that first
to
games.
yeah,
Like, I think that's what he was thinking in his head.
yeah,
And like and that's what happened. And he's like, because that was the first time when it happened in this new movie that he like the games were expanded and it was something new and interesting. Like before, the games had been boring. The first 10 people weren't watching because they're all just slaughtered in one room really quickly.
yeah,
And so when they were able to hide and maneuver underground and do more shit, and actually it becomes more of a reality show.
and then
And so
adding in
in
like the
Mockingjay
gift
Part 2,
giving.
yeah, and then Mockingjay Part 2, it became bigger, and the games were just like he was doing it in the Capitol and just doing it everywhere. He's like, it's underground, like the game's underground now, like it's bigger again. Like
Yeah,
it's so cool.
yeah,
Where like the games are changing now because they
mm-hmm.
did back then. So that was a really interesting tie-in that like when I was editing our reaction to it, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't catch he said that. Um, but the games in the new movie were pretty cool. They did those well.
Yes, yeah. And it was like they were able to at least make the games interesting by adding the like few features that they did and like
Yeah.
showing the evolution of it, even though the games were kind of boring back then, they were
Yeah.
able to like still
Well, this
like
was the
spice
first
it up.
games where it wasn't as boring because they added in
Yeah.
the drones
Yeah.
and he said people started betting on the games and they did a
Mhm.
talent show. Like he really just revamped it.
Yeah.
And that's what he had to do again when the war started happening with the Katniss days. He's like, all
Yeah.
right, let's revamp it. Let's just start fucking bombing the Capitol.
Yeah. We're gonna revamp it. We're gonna make a Victor Hunger
Yeah.
Games. We're gonna like
Yeah.
you gotta give them credit for, like being able to figure some shit out and bring viewership, I guess.
Yeah, like it's giving Trump kind of where like he's good at getting ratings.
Yeah.
That's why he's in power.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Um oh yeah, so overall, I guess like because if we give a rating to the movies, it would have to be like but we to rate each one or just rate the whole series 1 out of
I
10.
think we just rate the whole series together.
Yeah. I would say the series for me would be like an 8 out of 10.
I was gonna say like a 6.5 or a 7.
Damn. Six
Because
and a
I
half.
do I do love it. I love her.
Yeah.
But there's also some big parts that it's like takes away from it for me. Especially like the Mockingjays.
I know if I'm rating fairly, like I feel like I'm rating on the first two too heavily.
Yeah. Like the first two are great and like some of the shockers in Mockingjay are great,
Yeah.
but I'm probably gonna stick with a 6.5.
Okay. I think I could drop it down to a 7.5.
Yeah.
I think it should be like a seven. I think this is like a 7.5 movie for me personally.
Yeah.
Like all, I guess
I mean, I get
average
that
them
too because you read the books. I did not read. I only
I
read one.
average them out together. Yeah. But it's also interesting, like opinion's so funny because it's just really how you watch them and stuff. Like nostalgia plays a big effect on a
Yeah.
score rating, I feel like.
Yes.
Like when you first watch something, I feel like I always rate it lower. And then when I
Hmm.
go back to it, I'm like, oh actually, it's
Yeah.
weird how our brains do that.
I know. Because it's like
Um
holding on to portions of life that are like not there anymore.
yeah, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
But 6.5 and 7.5. That's still pretty good ratings.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then we're gonna start. We wrapped up that, and next week we're gonna do some Star Wars. I don't think I've ever done any Star Wars content on here, so
I'm
that'd be cool.
excited.
I
I
haven't seen
love Star Wars.
and all the TV shows and stuff. We could even do reactions to that. That'd be cool.
Mandalorian's amazing. I haven't seen
Yeah,
Ahsoka.
yeah, me either. I haven't seen. I only watched the first season of Mandalorian.
And I've watched some of Boba Fett also.
All right, all right. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments below. And oh yeah, I forgot to say subscribe. YouTube things. I don't know.
Yeah, like
Bye.
you know.